Have you ever thought about where your produce comes from? Most grocery chains receive produce from various local and national farmers. In fact, there are about 3.4 million farmers in the United States today. But of that staggering number, only 45,000 are Black farmers. At the Better Buggy, we are a proud group of Atlanta-based Black-owned farmers, selling produce locally and nationwide. Our easy-to-navigate online platform makes it easy for you to make a one-time purchase or to simplify your life by subscribing to our weekly produce box. Whichever frequency you choose, you can order with confidence, knowing you'll receive 100% organic farm-fresh produce. If you're looking for a thoughtful gift for a loved one that they'd actually find useful, be sure to pop by our online store where you can snag a gift card your recipient can use to order their own produce and t-shirts. Ready to start supporting local Black-owned farms and making healthier food decisions? Visit thebetterbuggy.com now to start shopping.
Ladies and gentlemen, these three defendants appeared in court recently. This came out in Law and Crime, July 22nd, 2021. Ahmaud Arbery's murder defendants and their lawyers appeared in court. Here's what they're asking the judge. Attorneys for the three defendants charged in connection with the alleged murder of Ahmaud Arbery, 25, on Thursday sparred with prosecutors over admissible evidence and with the press about whether certain portions of the jury selection process would be closed to the public. Travis McMichael, Gregory McMichael, and William Roddy Bryan are each charged with 1 count of malice murder, 4 counts of felony murder, 2 counts of aggravated assault, 1 count of false imprisonment, and 1 count of engaging in a criminal attempt to commit a felony. The Thursday hearing followed an avalanche of court filings from both sides in the case over the course of the last month. Some of the state filings have sought additional time for closing arguments to block testimony from neighboring district attorney George Barnhill, who thought the charges weren't warranted. Yeah, I'm sure many of you remember that. He didn't even want to charge anybody. To bar the defense from arguing that Georgia's former citizens arrest law was repealed specifically because of this case, to prevent the defense from turning the beyond a reasonable doubt legal standard into mathematical calculation, to admit defendant Bryan's video of the shooting into evidence and to play it during opening statements, to prevent speculative testimony, and to add into evidence defendant Gregory McMichael's personnel files from the Glenn County District Attorney's Office and from the Georgia's Peace Officer Standards and Training Council under limited circumstances such as impeachment if necessary. The state has also sought to prevent the jury from hearing about threats lodged against various individuals connected to Arbery's death. Oh, people are being threatened? Oh, okay. The defendants have sought to introduce evidence of Arbery's mental health. They've also sought to prevent alternate jurors from learning they've been tagged as alternate until all of the evidence have been presented, and they've asked the court to closely monitor so-called rehabilitation questions of potential jurors. All right. Okay. Such questions are an attempt to assert whether a juror can put aside previously held views about the case to deliver a fair verdict. And they have become serious sticking points In other recent high profile cases, such as Derek Chauvin's trial in Minnesota. Attorneys for the McMichaels request option to question some jurors in chambers outside purview of the public and of the press. Given the sensitivity of the case and of some of the questions the party may wish to ask members of the jury panel, a consortium of media organizations object to that move. And the defense shot back, arguing that the press request to brief the legal issues and then argued them in full would offend the defendant's constitutional rights, in part because of the back and forth nature of written arguments. This ordinary briefing scheduled me sounds like 30 days for one side and 30 days for the other side, and 15 days to reply. So they're putting in all these things, filings with the court, and they got a set amount of time to respond. That's all, really all that is. We will still have a speedy trial demand pending, one defense attorney for William Roddy Bryan said Thursday. We don't want the media inadvertently, however, with the best of intentions, to create a briefing situation for us that's going to interfere with the trial in this case in October. I think there should be a way to resolve those issues by consent today, the attorney suggests. All right. Prosecutors said forensic analysis on computers and cell phones were sent to the defense team yesterday. A fourth supplemental witness list of over 120 people was also sent by the state to the defense. Prosecutors said the voluminous list was necessary so they are not caught having to, for instance, call a police officer to testify who's not on the list. But they added that they would compile a pared down witness list for the state's case in chief. The state accused the defense of violating an earlier order of the court to provide prosecutors with a list of witnesses they intend to call. The state has absolutely no witness list from any of these defendants, one prosecutor said. They have violated your October 30th order, that same prosecutor told the judge. One of the defense attorneys said 90% of their witnesses are also on the prosecution's list. What is the hold up? What's holding us up? Defense said. Was a yet to be decided court ruling on issues involving 404B evidence. That evidence of a person's prior crimes, wrongdoing, and other bad act, that shouldn't be included. Whatever Ahmaud Arbery did prior to being shot had nothing to do with what happened that day, and I don't believe that should be included. And if you're going to include every wrong thing he did, then how come you not talking about including everything the McMichaels and Bryan did? Their laundry list should be in court too. You know, I didn't like that during Derek Chauvin's trial, how they wanted to talk about what George Floyd did. Why was not anything presented about Derek Chauvin? It should have been every violation or every complaint that was filed on him, that should have been talked about openly in court a lot more intensively than it was. You know, you killed someone. We should hear more about your background. Prosecutors later rubbish defense attempts to prevent recordings of some of the defendant's own police interviews from being seen by the jury. My intention here is to keep basically this from the closing argument. You don't even get jury to hear their actual statements, a prosecutor argued. So all they're doing is trying to figure out what's included, what's not. But, it kind of blows my mind. You are defending these three men, and they provided not one witness list to the prosecution. Isn't that odd? You can't find one person to take the stand in their defense? Not one person? None of their attorneys got a witness list. Wow. Nobody that's going to testify on their behalf. I guess people said, "No, I don't want to be in connection with these folks." So the trial, ladies and gentlemen, is scheduled for October 18th, 2021. Being that it was such a high profile case, it'll probably be broadcast. I'm going to see if I can watch it online like I did the Derek Chauvin trial. I'll try to keep up with this one. And I sure hope Ahmaud Arbery's family get the justice they're looking for, but I can't lose sight of the system that we are depending on. One that sucks. Okay. If they had it their way, these three would be walking the streets. If you remember, Jackie Johnson, the DA that was in office before she was voted out, she kept these men out of jail. She did the best she could to keep them out of jail. She didn't want none of them to be punished. It is Georgia. Please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.